Hey there, Sinead Dunn here from the Extraordinary Mompreneur Community, and welcome to the Mompreneur Show, your weekly fill for tips, tricks and inspirations to help you build a successful life and business. And this week we are chatting with Maru Iabichela, and we are talking all about infinite receiving. Maru has had miraculous life-changing events happen to her since the start of the year, and she shares them all with us in the interview. We all know about manifesting and goal setting, but the big question here is, are we actually open to receive, to allow these dreams and goals come into our life? So let's get chatty. Welcome, Maru, and to the Mompreneur Show. I am so happy to have you here, and I'd love you to share a little bit about yourself and your business.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm Maru Iabichela. I hail all the way from Texas. I'm originally from Venezuela, and I didn't know I was going to be an entrepreneur. I learned that about myself after being in corporate for 5 years and starting to suffer from anxiety and panic attacks and things that I never thought would ever happen to me, because I thought that just happened to other people. But when I went through that, I realized that I didn't want to be in that space confined for 30 or 40 years like most people do here in America. And I wanted to chart my own path and follow my dreams. And I wanted to help people and get paid for it. And when I turned 30, I said, I'm getting the hell out. I'm going to start my own business. I became a coach in 2011, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a lot of savings. I didn't have a big plan. I just knew that when I turned 30, I had to go. And when I took that leap of faith, I found that I was expecting. My partner at the time had crazy illnesses. I mean, all this stuff that happened and that literally derailed all my dreams and plans that at 30 years old, I would be a successful entrepreneur. So it took me about, he got better, thank God. And I had my son, but those first 2 years as a new entrepreneur, newly engaged with a new baby, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I just had to trust what the gurus were telling me. I found online courses, I found online programs, and I started doing what everybody else was telling me to do. I was hiring the best coaches in the world. I ended up getting in tremendous debt as I was building my business, my coaching and speaking business. And it got to the point where last January 2015, I nearly had to file bankruptcy here in America because I had no money for gas and I had maxed out all my credit cards and nobody knew. So I had to do the walk of shame and ask for help, tell my family what I had gotten myself into, and with all kinds of fears that they would tell me, you need to quit and you need to go get a real job. Thankfully, though, I was surrounded by a couple of entrepreneurial friends who were the only ones that understood what I was going through. And in January 2015, so about 19 months ago now, I heard the words I needed to hear. It was like, no, you're not quitting. You're going to get up every day and you're going to make it happen until it works. And I don't know, I just heard conviction in the air. And that's why I'll always be a big fan of having masterminds and having people in your life that support you and see what you see, because those that don't see what you see don't understand what you're going through, and they may lead you down the wrong path. So after coming out of the closet, telling my family that I had over $55,000 of debt that they didn't know about, I made a commitment. I said, if in January last year, if I do not generate this amount to pay my bills down, to catch up with rent, to catch up with all these things, and I'll just gladly go accept a job. Because then, I will tell myself, at least I tried everything. And what happened next is that I freaking killed it. It was that desperation or that need or whatever. And also coming out of the closet, because I had so much guilt and shame around the debt, that I feel like got me out of hiding, right? Because what I understood is that it takes a lot of energy to hide something you're ashamed of or have guilt around. So when I came out of the closet with that, it was like I was freed out, And also I had an ultimatum. I had a deadline. Like it was like, by January 31st, I need to have generated $6,000 to pay my coach, to pay my bills, to help with the household. If not, I have to go get a job or I have to start dropping things. And ever since then, something got reset within me, because ever since then, I have not made less than 5 figures a month, except 1 month that led me to the next biggest breakthrough, which is infinite receiving, which is, I'm sure we're going to get into shortly. So that's a long ways of telling you a lot about me, a lot about my resilience, my spirit, and, how I started and then what turned everything around, which was hitting rock bottom and not staying there.
That's good. I just want to point on the point you're saying about the gurus, because this is something I suppose that has brought me to where I am in the state that I've a lot of gurus that I was taking advice from and was following didn't have a family. And I felt a little bit lost in the sea of trying to follow their instructions of what to do. But yeah, I had responsibilities as a mother, as a wife. So I felt really, really, really restricted in that. And that's what's brought me to the place where I am now of starting this up to learn from other mothers that we can help and support each other along the road. So I love that point.
That's such a good point, because we found, we idolize people and we want what they have and we compare ourselves and we want their journey, but it's kind of like, we want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like you have to grow into it. A lot of people come to me and say, oh my gosh, I love what you have. And I'm like, yeah, it's taken me 3.5 years to learn all I've learned, to spend all the money I've spent, to go through the stuff I've been through, to, because all the lessons are stacking up on each other. And one of those lessons is a couple of ones in terms of choosing who to work with, is choose someone whose lifestyle, whose energy inspires you and who makes you feel better about yourself, not less, right? And also hire someone that is 7 steps ahead of you, not 100 steps ahead of you, because my problem at the time is that I was hiring people that had all the systems and all these things already said and done, and they couldn't really relate to my struggles. So it's like I was trying to learn, I was in the algebra stages, like in the basic math stages, when these people were teaching chemistry or physics or something. So it's almost like there is a progression to everything. You know what I mean? There's an incubation period to everything. And I think it's really important to line yourself up. Pick 2 or 3 people, focus on those 2 or 3 people. Don't learn from 100 people. And let those people be people that inspire you, that have been through a journey similar to yours, that can pull you forward. Not just get lost in the shiny object syndrome and the Paris pictures and all that.
Yeah, it's so true. So when I first met you, we met in London. And you were talking about the infinite receive, and that was my first little intake of that. And I think one big strong nugget that I took from you, you were talking about when your experience in London and you were in a shard and you were looking out over the London lights, and you had that whole experience of, you used to say to yourself, like, I can't believe this is happening to me. But now you turn, and that has really, really impacted me. And I tell so many other mothers as well. It's like, even like I finally got my dream car, and my first instinct would always be, I can't believe this is happening. But no, now I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I've made this. So could you share a little bit more about that, because that has made a big impact on me. So
beautiful. Okay, so for everyone watching this, basically what Sinead's talking about is I had a moment of like enlightenment in March where I was really struggling. I hit a low point in my life. My relationship was on the outs, and I said, God help me, because I have no idea what to do. It's like I've been successful for so many months, and now I'm back at zero again. What is this? So I had a moment of enlightenment when I heard this voice that told me, you only get what you have the capacity to receive. And I was like, where did that come from? But that moment of enlightenment has brought me so much wealth, so many riches, spiritual, emotional, physical, energetical riches, right? And in that moment of awakening, or call it whatever you want to call it, that I now call infinite receiving, right? It's a whole movement. I teach women how to expect more, expect everything and get it. I've also gotten really clear on the ways that we block ourselves. We block ourselves with our language. We block ourselves with how we shrink around other people, with how we sabotage ourselves, with the way we walk, the way we don't cash checks because we're lazy, the way that we hoard things, the way that we put people on pedestals. I mean, I literally have identified 27 common blocks that most women do on a daily basis. They don't even know. And it's killing them. It's killing their bank account. It's killing their ideas. It's killing their productivity. It's killing their relationship. It's killing everything, right? Does that make me perfect? Absolutely not. But it makes me so aware that I can now catch it and be able to nip it in the bud fast. One of the things that you talked about that impacted you is a common reaction that most women have when something good happens. First thing that we go to is, I can't believe this is happening to me. Oh my God, I can't believe I just got that call. I can't believe I just got 2 clients. I can't believe I had a breakthrough. Oh my God. You need to stop acting surprised with your own awesomeness. Stop, like immediately stop, because that is who you really are. And every time you say, I can't believe it, it's kind of like you're telling the universe, are you sure? Are you sure I deserve this? Are you sure it's me? Like, did you miss something here? Because like, this doesn't happen to me. So I just want you guys, I mean, there's 27 common blocks that people have, and a lot more, I'm sure, but that I've identified. And this is a really big one. It's one that we do every day. I always do this, I always do this. So just kind of monitoring your language to make sure that you're not bringing shiz and bad stuff from the past into the now. That's very important. Like one of my infinite receiving hacks is, up until now I've been called lazy, or up until now I struggle with it. So just make sure that you're kind of telling yourself that it's not a continuing story, that you mark it, that you put a barrier or a boundary. That's another thing that I teach. But yeah, I can't believe is a really big one, because it implies that kind of breakthrough or that kind of receiving is a rarity. Yeah. It's rare when I'm on a quest to make it the norm. Yeah. And so that's why I say of course this happens to me. Of course. That's
been a big lesson. I mean, everything that could happen to me now, I really, really say that. Yeah, of course this has happened to me. Why wouldn't it happen to me? I deserve it.
Exactly. Totally. Absolutely. Totally.
And then another one as well, a little nugget that I took from you as well, was when you're talking, I can't remember who it was, but you were at an event and you had been there previously and you had met someone that would have been a guru, and you were all family, but you're in a place of saying now it's like we're all equal. Do you remember that story?
I remember that. I think I know who you're talking about, and I used to shrink a lot around him.
Shrinking, yeah.
So we put a lot of people on pedestals.
Yeah.
And so when you put someone on a pedestal, you're energetically putting yourself down. Like, I'm down here and this person's here, right? So you're starting at a disadvantage already. So when I used to come from that energy and shrink around people like that, I couldn't connect to them, or I would get really nervous, or I would shrink, right? Like the words wouldn't come out, I would mess up, And that was a big lesson for me to understand that we're all peers in the human experience. Even if this person has released a best-selling book or has a multi-billion-dollar company, or whoever this person is, we're all peers. We're all peers. Like, we're created the same way. Same 2 cells onto 4 cells onto multiplication that created a stubborn ass human being, right? Yeah. Like, we all have the same. We all started the same. Well, that is the core principle of what I teach. And the minute you start like comparing yourself or putting people on pedestals, it's like they can't see you because you're putting yourself down here and you don't connect to them the same way. So when I made the switch of, oh my gosh, we're all peers in the human experience. You may be experiencing something different from me right now, but we're at the core of it, we're all peers. That was a big shift for me that has allowed me to connect from at a soul level and at an intellectual level and even at a friendship level with people like Lisa Nichols, Vishen Lakhiani, one of my good friends now that used to be a mentor that I used to look up to. His name is Fabrizio Mancini, very well-known health expert, Hay House bestselling author, you name it, right? And he's the one person that helped me shift that, because he would always introduce me as a friend, and I would be like, how am I your friend? I'm just somebody trying to learn from you. I'm not where you are. Oh my God. And then through his example, I learned that every time that you meet someone like that, just remind yourself, I'm their peer. You're my peer. I'm just your mirror. If you attracted them into your experience, you're a vibrational match for them. Don't shrink. Own it. Accept it. Live into it. Embrace it, that you're in their presence for a reason. That's not a fluke, right? It's not it happened for a reason. You attracted them into your presence for a reason. And so try to stay in the room. Use your moment. See them as your peer, and it will just create a more Like the energy, the connection will be more open and more real. And with that, I can't even tell you, I just had Lisa Nichols give me a huge shout out on video like a week and a half ago. And I was just like, yeah, that would have never happened if I would have still been like shrinking around people that I admire.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing with women with shrinking. Not only just like with gurus, but even like in groups, they're kind of like they're hiding on the sidelines. And I think that that's a big important part is that, yeah, we're all peers. It doesn't matter where we are in our businesses. We've all started in the same level and we're all going to work up through the same levels, but we need to stop with the shrinking. And can I ask you, so you're in business now a little while now, so what has your big lessons been along the way, like with juggling motherhood and your business?
That people are always asking for money. Like, you're like, oh, I want clients, I want people in my membership group, or I want whatever, right? And for me, all I wanted was a world-class support system because I knew I was going to be successful. But I forgot to include that in the equation at the beginning of my business. So I now ask all my clients and everybody that I work with, especially your mom, that you put in your manifestation or in your receiving journaling or in your prayers or meditation that you have a world-class support system, because without the world-class support system that I have now, there's no way I would be doing half the things that I do. And at the beginning, it felt like an impossibility. It felt like, no, I'm just going to have 3 hours a day to work on this. How am I going to make it happen?
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality, right, of a lot of moms or single moms. I'm a single mom now. But I'm telling you, you can create anything you want. And I will just encourage everyone listening to this that even if you don't have it right now, that you call into your life a world-class support system, because you're not meant to be doing this on your own. That's just never been the case, not been the case. Our ancestors lived in tribes for a reason, right? And you have the ability to call into your life anything you want. And I want you to be calling into your life a world-class support system. And let the universe deliver that to you in whatever best way possible. For me, I literally, ever since Infinite Receiving came to me, that I knew it could be a really big thing, I was hyperventilating for like 2-3 days. So I'm like, how on earth am I going to make this happen? I don't have the money right now. I don't have the support. I just have like this hours that I can work. And without me even knowing it, in a matter of weeks, literally, I was surrounded by angels that are still with me, are now officially part of my team, and they believe in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. And I moved close to my mom, so I feel so supported, and everyone sees what I see. Most people do. But I created this.
Yeah.
I created it because I've been affirming I have a world-class support system.
Okay, so you're joining, you mean, because like this is a question that has come up a few times, like in when we work with women, they're saying like, so how, for them, it's like, how do they find that support network? So what have been the steps that you have taken to find that?
Okay, so first of all, you have to say yes. So yes to the calling, right? So if you have an idea, if you have a project in mind, most of the time we get stuck on the how, but I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. So right then and there, you basically just canceled a lot of orders from the universe. It's like, so you get stuck in perfectionism. You get stuck in like, I don't know when I'm going to have the time. The first thing I want you to do is say yes. Say yes, even if you don't know how you're going to make it happen. Especially if you don't know how you're going to make it happen. Why? Because embedded in you saying yes. First of all, let me tell you, embedded in the idea that was given to you by God, the universe, or whatever you're working on, whether it's your message, your experiences, or a new program, or a new membership site, whatever, right? Embedded in that idea that was given to you, that came from somewhere out here, like I have this like outer space, right here, my outer space bottle. Embedded in that idea, it's also built in the mechanism to make itself come true. It's kind of like in the acorn. The acorn comes built with the process and mechanisms, right, to become an oak tree. Same with the baby, right? It's like with all of us, we have within it built all the systems, protection mechanisms to help us grow into what we've become. It's the same with business ideas. They were given to you for a reason, but most people get stuck in the house. So I want you to say yes. I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. I want you to say yes fearlessly, like without fear. And I want you to date the idea. Okay? Dating doesn't mean marrying the idea. Okay, so you just say like, okay, you know what? I say yes. See how I'm going to make it happen? I have no idea. what happens when you say yes courageously is that you start, like somebody will call you and be like, I want to help you. Is there anything you got from your help? Or maybe you'll call a friend and be like, you know what, I need extra childcare or I need something. Do you know anyone? Sure, no problem. Just bring them for free. But you have to say yes, like an all in yes. Yes, I'm going to date this idea. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to be horribly attached to it, because that's the problem, that we get so attached. It's like, it has to happen. When really, date it. Just date the idea. That doesn't mean you're going to, you know what I mean? It doesn't, don't put so much pressure on that idea that is going to collapse. Because a lot of people, this is what happens in a lot of launches. When people say like, I want to have a 6-figure launch. Well, you put so much pressure on that idea, on that project, or on that program, let's say, you know, if you're in an online business, that poor little idea collapses under all the pressure you put on it. Yep. Don't do that, because that is implying that you believe in a limited abundance or limited resources universe. That if this doesn't work out, then I'm done. Says who? What? It's just one idea. That's why I love the idea of just like say yes courageously and know that you're just going to date it. Go out on dates with it. Do what you can. Your existence does not depend on that success, on the success of that idea or not. Believe me. Thinking that it does is what will fuck you up. Excuse my language. Yeah. The more you can detach from that and just say, you know what, I got this idea. Like when I literally had that awakening about infinite receiving, I was promoting business programs and speaking programs. This is so about woo and spiritual prosperity. And I was like, I'm a flake. Oh my God, what am I going to do? This would mean that my whole business has to change. This is crazy. And I said, but I have to say yes, because it didn't come from me. It was given to me. And in three days, it made me more money than I had made in like 3 months. So there was something to it. And then everybody was experiencing miracles with that. Sorry, it's raining here. And so I said yes. I have no idea about how I'm going to make this happen. But I said yes. And I said, I'm going to write it to see what's here. I'm going to see what's here. You know, and if people think I'm a flake or whatever, because I was just selling this and now I'm selling this, that's their problem, not mine. I have to be honest and loyal to myself. And what happened next is literally I had somebody call me and said, I really want to help you. Is there anything I can do to help you? A woman that lives here and now she's my business manager. Then another woman is like, you know, I can support you in this way. I mean, it was just so serendipitous, but I didn't know the how and I just went for it.
You were open to receiving.
I was open to receiving. And I think that sometimes we get really stuck in it has to happen this way. And you know, if it doesn't happen that way, then I am X.
We go to panic mode.
But it's not true. You know what I mean? It's like the thing about you creating your own success and having your own business is you're dating ideas. You do your best, but if not, the next one will come. You want to be changing every 3 months. You want your message and what you're doing to be evolving every 3 months with the seasons.
Yeah, that's so refreshing to hear. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm like,
if you try something, doesn't work. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing is, yeah, I'm a very, like, your energy is the most important asset for business success. And if you're stressed out about something, if you're doing something that doesn't feel right, if you're just doing what somebody else told you to do, I literally have had 2 or 3 people scrap their launches and their programs completely in the past 2.5 weeks, because just hearing them talk about it, I was like, what excites you about this? I don't know. Like, you don't do it. It needs to be easy and fun.
Yeah, that's true.
And also for moms, I just want to say, just real quick, is that you need to figure out what your time is worth. Because if you're doing things in your business that you could be paying somebody £10 an hour for, £15 an hour for, and your time is worth more than that, then you need to value yourself more. And maybe it feels like a stretch right now because like, oh, I don't have the money or whatever. But believe me, those 2 or 3 hours that you're going to be paying somebody £30 or £35 for, or $35 or whatever, that you could be creating content, or you could be downloading ideas that can then make you thousands and thousands, then that's what you need to be doing. Somebody can fold your laundry for you. Somebody can clean your floors. You need to value your time, because time is the greatest asset. Time and energy to me are the greatest assets when you're an entrepreneur, especially a mom entrepreneur.
Yeah, that was one massive lesson that I had to learn the hard way as well. I mean, I wasted so much of my time, as you said, like laundry, hoovering, washing floors, and then things in business that like I could hire out to a VA. I mean, there's so many services out there now as well that are like, they're not crazy expensive. If you shop around, you can get services that are reasonably priced, and put your time and worth where it should be. So yeah.
Perfect. Yes, I love it.
Okay, Maru, thank you so much. I've really, really enjoyed this. And can you just tell us where we can find you?
Absolutely. So you can learn all about infinite receiving, which is my movement and my story, at infinitereceiving.com. You can also find me at Maru Iabichela. So I hope that you can put that in the comments or in the title. Just maruiabichela.com. And then that way you can access my original Infinite Receiving webinar that causes magic, miracles, shifts. Just watching it, people always message me, oh my gosh, while I was watching it, I had a legal battle resolved. While I was watching it, I got a scholarship. While I was watching it, something magical about this concept, and I hope it touches your life as well and turns it into gold.
And thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Bye-bye. Hey, and thank you so much for watching the videos, and I really hope that you have enjoyed them. I'm super excited to share with you my must-have tools that I use in my business and my life. If you would like me to send them to you, just sign up down below and I will send them to you shortly. And come over and join the community of other success-driven mompreneurs. I will see you next week on the Mompreneur Show.